This week is kind of a crazy week because we have to go all the way from Shasta in California to Idaho Falls because we need to get our underbelly fixed.
I cannot imagine actually having traveled out west a long time ago.
We're about to go into Indian Cave, which is the largest of the 4 caves here at Craters of the Moon National Monument.
To say I'm frustrated is an understatement.
Yeah, this week is kind of a crazy week because we have to go all the way from Shasta in California to Idaho Falls. And we have to get there within 4 days, which for us means we have to drive a lot. We normally like to drive anywhere from 100 to 150 miles max in a day. That's like 2 to 4 hours with stops getting gas or maybe a break to take lunch. But we have to do that in 4 days. That's a lot of driving. And we have to get to Idaho Falls because we need to get our underbelly fixed. If you saw in our Banff video, we thought we might have another leak, but we actually figured out it's not a leak. It's just that the underbelly was getting wet because of the way that they've originally repaired it. So we're going back to that same shop to get that underbelly fixed so that we don't have any more problems or potential leaks like that again. So we're trying to make the most of it on the drive, stop and take breaks and enjoy, but it's a lot of driving. Gotta get there fast.
So if you're going through Nevada on I-80, you have to stop at the California Trail Interpretive Center. It's a big museum that's free, mind you, and you're gonna learn so much about the hardships that the immigrants had heading west on this trail down the Humboldt River. And if you have small children with you, do not let that deter you from stopping. It was super kid friendly, a lot of interactive exhibits. It's fun for all ages.
I cannot imagine actually having traveled out west a long time ago. I mean, the amount of time it took. So it's supposedly even if you had a wagon, an ox or horse or mule taking you, it could take anywhere from 4 to 5 months to get out west to your final destination. You could only go about 2 to 2.5 miles per hour. And we were complaining about having to cross Nevada today and it's gonna take us like 6 hours and we were all on a tiff. We're pretty lucky. I don't want this. I don't have to die in a salt flat or have no water or not be able to sleep. I'm okay with our current situation.
One last thing about the California Trail Interpretive Center is RV parking. Yeah. So we broke up the drive with a Boondockers Welcome Stay. And you can probably hear his ATV in the background that Liz just got done driving me around the property on. It was absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the best Boondockers Welcome experiences we've had yet. And if you're not using Boondockers Welcome yourself to get from A to B, you are missing out, man. All right, we're getting ready to head into Idaho Falls, but before we get on the road, part of my pre-flight checklist, if you will, is to check all of tire pressures because that is probably the #1 thing that'll cause a blowout. If you're running even a few pounds low and this thing gets hot, explosion. I mean, evidence is right here. The first time we had a tire blowout, it shredded our J-wrap. I'm surprised it didn't take out the hydraulic leveling lines and all that stuff, and it can cause major damage. So avoid blowouts at all costs. First line of defense, check your tire pressure before you hit the road every single time you go to leave any campground.
We got to Idaho Falls, where the original RV repair shop was going to be fixing our underbelly from their first repair when we had our leak. But the part that we needed, the underbelly piece that we told them about months ago, was not delivered. So we drove a long way in a short period of time, which is really tolling, to get here to find out that even though we told them to be prepared,
2 days across Nevada, non-stop.
They're-
That's all right.
yeah, I mean, it's not all right.
To say I'm frustrated is an understatement.
Yeah, it's really tolling on him, especially because he's the one driving. So we are leaving Idaho Falls because it's Friday and they're closed for the weekend. So even if they do get it shipped in late today on Friday, they won't be able to fix it till Monday. Since we can't do anything no matter what until Monday, we're gonna go to Craters of the Moon National Monument, which is about an hour and a half from Idaho Falls and about an hour and a half from Twin Falls in Idaho. We're gonna kind of try and unplug and forget about everything that's going on and just enjoy a really cool national monument. And I guess we'll figure out the rest come Monday. We're about to go into Indian Cave, which is the largest of the 4 caves here at Craters of the Moon National Monument. You technically need a permit to get into these caves if you actually want to go down into them, but it's free. All they do is ask a question about your clothing to make sure that you're not wearing anything that you wore in any other cave, so they're preventing the spread of the white-nosed bat syndrome, which kills off bats in caves across the nation. So definitely make sure to get a permit and come to these caves because it's so cool. So these caves are actually formed from when the volcanoes erupted. And this one actually didn't erupt like a cone structure. It erupted through fissures. So magma started flowing from the fissures and it actually created like a river of magma. And because the top part of the magma that was closer to the air actually cooled at a much faster rate, it pretty much insulated the magma below. Eventually the magma ended up leaving and the ceilings ended up caving in. And that's how we have the openings of the caves that we can go into now. But many of these caves are enormous. This one's 800 feet long, and the ceiling height in this specific one is about 35 feet tall. So these are not small caves. It's pretty amazing to think that magma was flowing through here at such a huge scale. I can't even imagine what that would have been like.
So a couple of things you need to bring with you if you're going to be doing any cave exploring at Craters of the Moon. Definitely wear some at least ankle-high shoes, some sturdy shoes or boots, because the floor is not smooth at all. It used to be flowing magma, so there's parts where it's like stacked on top of itself. Just, it seems like a spot where you would easily be able to break an ankle, which brings me to my point number 2. It's a cave, and I know it looks like I got a lot of sun on me right now, but that's because we're in a collapsed roof area. But just behind me, you can't see anything. So bring a flashlight, that way you can see what you're actually stepping on. This is very different from any of the other caves that we've ever been in, but that's because it's not really a cave. It is now, but it used to be an ancient underground lava flow. So there's all these like crazy drippy things on the walls, and it's really cool. This is super cool.
Make sure to give yourself at least one full day if you don't have 2 separate days to enjoy this wonderful national monument. If you can snag a spot camping at the actual campground called Lava Flows in the National Monument, awesome. It is dry camping, but it's only $15. There's a bathroom there on site, and you're actually tucked away into the lava fields. Such a cool campground. But it is first come, first serve, and when we arrived, they did not have a spot. So we had to go into the town of Arco, which is 18 miles away, and they had a KOA for us to choose from, as well as a private campground. And we ended up finding a spot for around $40, which had full hookups, and there's Wi-Fi connection. Another thing to note about the Lava Flows campground in the park and the park in general, there is no data connection. So be prepared to unplug while you're here and enjoy all of the cool sights there is to see. Also important is to start in the visitor center. They have a movie that plays every 30 minutes, the last playing at 4:30 each day, and it tells you a lot about the actual lava flow and what happened here 2,000 years ago. We suggest doing that first so you actually understand what you're seeing when you're going around this really cool place.
Something you might not know about Craters of the Moon is they actually just got the dark sky designation. So if you love to do nighttime photography or love just sitting out and watching the stars come out, this is a really good place to see the Milky Way at night. All right, we are back in Idaho Falls. The shop was able to get a hold of the materials they need to fix the underbelly skin, which is like a black corrugated plastic that runs the length of the trailer underneath. So the problem we were having, we thought it was a leak, but it really wasn't a leak. The original tech that fixed the actual auxiliary tank leak that we had didn't do a very good job putting the underbelly skin back together. He put it back together using black Gorilla Tape, and the first time we hit water, basically the insulation that we had them also install at the same time got wet, heavy, and then split the sections. So this time around, we're gonna have them not do quite the same thing that they did the first time with the insulation. They're going to stuff it higher up towards the floor of the trailer, and then also what they've done is reinstalled the belly skin in pieces. I'm actually really into that. At first I really didn't think it was going to be that good of an idea, but I like the fact that it's in 3 different pieces now, that you can actually uninstall each section depending on where you want to get to underneath the trailer if we do have a future problem. So they're doing it even better, I think, than the factory spec, which is just one long piece and then you have to drop the entire thing if there's a problem. So the guys here at the repair shop did a really good job measuring and cutting and fitting exactly each section of the underbelly skin, and we're good to go. Super fun fact about this area, where are we at? What state are we in? Idaho.